So welcome back, everyone. I'm excited about bringing on my next guest, who's also been on with me now several times. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. I have with me Anna von Straussenberg. She's the owner of Anna von Straussenberg CPA. A great timing to be here right now. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your mission. I want to talk a little bit about that out right off the bat, and obviously what you do.
Well, I am an accountant. I specialize in taxes for both individuals and small businesses. I am just an accounting nerd, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, but you know what? It's good to have an accounting that's a nerd. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, and my tagline is excellence and integrity in accounting because that's what I believe in. I believe in doing the best possible job and being ethical is just number one with me.
Right. And now when you work with people, there's a few things. First of all, what I know about you, you obviously love what you do. You're a lover of numbers, big time, and you've got a very sharp pencil. You're very good at what you do. But you like to help your clients understand their numbers of their business.
Yes,
I think
I
this
do.
is huge for you because there's a lot of people that are accountants and there's a lot of CPAs out there. But you let your clients work hand in hand with you, and I love that about what you do. Will you please talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I like to do that. I like to be proactive with my clients, be a teacher. And our business model is based on looking at a client's books about 3 times a year. And we'll start off in the summertime, maybe in July. We'll look at the books all the way through June 30th and kind of get a feel for where the business is headed. And then our major time is in November. We will look at the books through October 31st. And by the time we kind of finish doing all the journal entries and everything to close out the books and clean them up, November is done or mostly done. And the clients a lot of times have a feel for what their December looks like. And so we can narrow down what their tax liability is going to be for the next year and give them some planning tools. Well, what can you do? Do you want to do a 401k? Do you want to contribute to an IRA? What do you want to do? Do you need to do advertising to build up your business? What are the things you need to look at to make that business more successful going forward?
Now, one of the other things that you do, because you are a QuickBook Pro advisor for like 17 years that you've been doing that, your clients also do this because it's important for you but it's something that people need to understand is QuickBooks, but it's not really, people don't use it right, you said.
Yeah, there's ways to just use it. You can write checks and get an okay use out of it, or you can really use it and become kind of like what they call a power user. And you can use items to pull reports that look at your numbers in different ways. You can look at them by category, by class, by customer type. There are different ways that you can use QuickBooks to your full advantage.
And it's important for you to know that, and she thinks it's so important that she's going to offer for everybody to get, it's going to be a QuickBook Advisor tutorial that comes along with a consultation with her. And I think what's really important is we all really need it. I mean, it doesn't matter, even if you're not totally into doing your books, you need to understand your business and you need to understand your numbers. It's probably the number one thing you really need to know. So we've got our lines open here. I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. It's a tutorial. Believe me, it's not just like anything you've ever done before. And if you think you know how to use it, you probably don't. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Anna, you do free consultations. You work nationwide. You're rated with the Better Business Bureau. Your phone number to get direct is 480-964-4030. Your website is Arizona CPAs, that's with an S.com. I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show to get this. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Extensions, they did it.
Well, they extended the tax deadline to May 17th, and the reason it's the 17th and not the 15th is because the 15th fell on a Saturday, and so they always push it out to the next business day. And so Well, that's coming around the corner pretty fast. So a
You
lot of people,
procrastinators out there, or people like a lot of people like to get extensions. Maybe you haven't done it. Maybe you're not ready. A lot of this COVID might have made things a little bit crazy for people. I don't know if you're finding that at all.
that's true. COVID did make things crazy for people, and there's issues that people just aren't sure what to do about. And do they, like I mentioned before, do they want to make a contribution to a retirement plan? Some retirement plans allow you to make a contribution up to the date that you file your return. So they may hold off for that reason so that they can make that retirement contribution.
And she can help you with that. She can also help you, guide you, get your taxes done. The sooner you get them done, the better you're going to feel about things. Though some people do get extensions. Our number here to get this QuickBook Advisors tutorial with her consultation is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. She's rated with the Better Business Bureau. She also works nationwide, does free consultations, and her phone number direct is 480-964-4030. It's ArizonaCPAs.com. Okay, we're going to come back over here for a minute. Amended returns and statutes of limitation for both federal and Arizona. Federal and Arizona.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about that today because things happen. People forget information. They don't tell me about their information. They find out something later on that they didn't know about. And so the need comes up to amend a return. And a lot of people get excited about amending return if it's going to save them tax money. And of course you want to amend it when it's going to save you tax money. But you have to realize if you find an error and it may cost you tax money, it behooves you to step up and be honest and go ahead and report that. And then you can make a plea to the IRS, look, this was an honest mistake, can you waive the penalties? And because if you don't come forward with that information and the IRS finds it, they will penalize you and they won't be so forgiving. If you bring it to their attention, they're more likely to forgive the penalty.
So when you amend a tax return, how does that get done? I mean, do you have? I can't imagine somebody trying to talk to the IRS by themselves anyway, because most people get nervous and they don't know, or they talk too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your thoughts?
Well, my thought is it's your best to have a CPA or an EA handle that with the IRS, because you don't want to say too much and you don't want to say the wrong thing or mislead the IRS and cause you
don't want to mess with them. They're brutal.
Yeah. And so you would give the CPA a power of attorney that allows us to talk to the IRS. We can prepare an amended return. And the good thing about that is once you've amended that return, that issue, the statute of limitations runs on that and it's over and done. If you never come forward with something, there is no statute of limitations. It can be for years.
And they'll come after you. They do find this stuff in that. They've got people with looks.
If they consider it fraud, there's no statute.
Really? Then you know what? Even though when you're, unfortunately, sometimes bad things happen to good people. And if it was an honest mistake, but coming up and being forthright with it, right, is the best thing to do.
It is the best policy.
Now, you could check her out on her website. It's ArizonaCPAs.com. And she's all about integrity in accounting. She's all about excellence and integrity, and that's what shows right there, because she wants you to do the right thing. And it's obviously the right thing is always really the better things to do anyway.
And I wanted to mention the statute of limitations because if you do find a mistake that saves you money, you want to get that done soon because you only have 3 years from the date you file your return.
Now her phone number direct, it's 480-964-4030. You can call in here. We've got everyone that's going to get entered into win. This is the QuickBooks tutorial that comes along with a consultation with her. I know that sounds like it's like, oh, well, I know how to do that. No, you don't. You don't know how to use it properly and how to make it utilize it for your business to help you understand it better and maybe even save you money in the long run because a lot of people make mistakes on it.
Oh, yeah. It saves you money in the long run. The better you learn how to use it and having the tutorials, it eventually saves your accountant time on the back end.
Which ends
So,
up saving you money,
yeah.
which is really important.
And the better thing too is you also understand it better.
Now, she works nationwide. She's rated with the Better Business Bureau. She does free consultations. You can call in here. We're going to go to a break soon, and then everyone gets a call throughout the rest of the show. Believe me, whether it's you or someone that you know, this is something that everyone really, truly needs. Every one of her clients end up getting this because she thinks that it's the most valuable tool that she also has. Again, it's a QuickBooks tutorial. She's got 17 years of experience with it. She's a pro at it. Our number here, 602-277-5369. So we're going to keep on going
Yeah,
here.
and it's funny because you say that, you know, they're constantly updating the program. So, you know,
Okay.
so as a pro advisor, we have to constantly keep taking courses, and they improve the program, and so there's little new bells and whistles all the time.
Okay. For you, for as you've been doing this for so long, what do you find that the most common number one the mistake that people make?
I think one of the most common mistakes is not recording paying off debt properly a lot of times. They will maybe put all the payment to either all expense or all to against the liability account rather than splitting it out. And so when they're looking at the books, they may think that they have a bigger loss than they actually have, or they have a bigger, net income than they have because that interest hasn't been allocated
So
properly.
when you have something like a debt that you've paid off, let's say it's to somebody who you borrowed money from, is that you could write that off?
Well, the interest you would write off, but
Okay.
the actual
What happens if they didn't
principal,
charge you anything for that?
then
it doesn't
it's
matter.
not, then it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So,
if they did, then
yeah,
okay.
so you wanna make sure that that's recorded properly.
Right.
And that happens a lot. Other times, things that happen that people put in what should be assets as expenses. So let's say they buy a car for their business and, their automobile expense went up $40,000, and I look at the background of what's in there and like, oh, there's a car or a truck,
Right.
some kind of vehicle that's in there that
And I
shouldn't
bet
be.
you find a lot of mistakes.
Oh yes, I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you do do you do all of them yourself, or do you have other people that do it? And then
We
you
have
finally...
other people that work. I
Mhm.
have other employees that
Mhm,
work
mhm.
with our firm.
How many
so.
people work for you?
I have 3 people right now that work for me.
Cool. So you're really, really growing.
Yeah. So it's nice, and I'd eventually like to add on more employees, but
Yeah.
I'm happy where it is right now.
No, that's
so,
nice. Perfect, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
So I hired a very bright young man right out of college, but he's just, he loves accounting. When he told me that financial accounting was his favorite class in school, I'm like, oh, you're hired.
That's good. That's your
He
kind
really
of
liked
person.
it, yeah, and I
Yeah.
got a good recommendation from somebody I knew, so.
Yeah.
um,
Good. That's neat.
But yeah, he's doing an excellent job.
That's good. I think we're going to go up that. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Anna von Straussenberg, and she is the owner of Anna von Straussenberg CPA. And you've been doing this for a very long time here, and you are all about excellence in accounting. We talked a little bit about that. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You do free consultations. You work nationwide, and you are a QuickBook Pro advisor. Now, I know that this isn't like getting, candy, free box of candy, or a weed whacker that you're buying for $19.95 with all the little hoodickies with it, but it could be very valuable to your business. And she believes that everybody should have that. As a matter of fact, every one of her clients, she always gives them the tutorial. So right now she is offering for everyone to get a QuickBook Pro Advisor. It's a tutorial that comes along with a consultation with her. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. It could change your business completely. I want to talk about one thing that you did say about this. It's that they're always changing the program. So you also have to take classes. Let's talk about that real quickly.
Yeah, Intuit requires that in order to maintain your QuickBooks Pro Advisor status, that you take a course every year and pass an exam. So, and they're always updating the program.
So when she says she's a pro, she means it.
And it's interesting because they're always improving the program, which is nice.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people don't renew that program so that it's new all the time either, do they?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because they're missing out. They're missing out on some opportunities. I don't say that people have to upgrade every year, but at least upgrade every 3 years, because then you get, some of the upgrades that have happened.
There's a reason why they change things.
Oh yeah, they make things easier to use. They add in more reporting capabilities.
You said that, and when you work with somebody and you start working with them, you find a lot of mistakes. People make a ton of mistakes on it. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Call in here and get it. I think it would be great for everybody to have. I want to talk to you a little bit about something else that we were talking about amended tax returns. To revisit, we wanted to talk a little bit more about estimated taxes. Okay, because estimated taxes, this is a problem that a lot of people have, but not with your firm.
Yeah.
And you make sure of that.
We make sure that we prepare estimated taxes for our clients when they're required to have them. If you don't have withholding from a job, or if you don't have enough withholding, and a lot of people come to me like, well, why do I have to pay these estimated taxes? And I explain to them that, well, you're required to pay in either 90% of your current year tax liability. So for 2021, you got to pay 90% during the year, or 100% of your prior year, or if you're over 150,000, you have to pay in 110%. And otherwise you're subject to penalties. So you don't want to be subject to penalties. And so if you can't increase your withholding enough, then you have to make the estimated payments to make up that difference.
Yeah, and with your firm, what you do, again, I want you to tell everybody how you do that 3 times a year, so they know where they are before. There's no question when it comes to you. There's no surprises.
Yeah, so we always look at the books in November all the way through October 31st. And then, of course, so we can project the tax returns and the liability that's going to be there, and decide what are we going to do about it now. And then, of course, we do it at during tax season, we do the books again. And then in the summertime, we look at it just to kind of get a feel for where things are. So we do it 3 times a year. I give a client a written list of things that they should correct or going forward, so that they know not to make the same mistakes again.
She was a teacher before. That's a true story. She was. So she makes sure that you're doing it right. She teaches along with this. This is not something that she just does the work. She actually wants to be hands-on with her, and it's so much better to be hands-on and be involved with what you're doing. Even though it seems nice to have just somebody take care of it, you don't really know. And I asked you, what's the number one mistake that people make?
Well, a lot of times when people have loans on the books that they owe somebody money, let's say for a vehicle or whatever, a lot of times the loans don't get recorded properly. Either they put the entire payment against the loan, which is not correct, or they put the entire payment as an expense, which is also not correct, because you have to amortize out the interest. And we provide clients with amortization schedules so they know how much interest to book every month. And it usually comes out pretty close to what the actual is. Some companies apply things slightly differently, but at least we get them close, so that when we finally get the report from the bank or the car dealership or whoever, we make a minor adjustment so your books are right going forward.
Now, again, you could call her direct. Her phone number is 480-964-4030. Her website is Arizona CPAs with an S, so ArizonaCPAs.com. She does free consultations. She works nationwide, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. We've got our lines open here. QuickBook tutorial that you're going to get from her, along with the consultation that you get. Everybody should have it. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Unemployment exclusion.
Well, the IRS saw that people had to get unemployment during 2020 because of COVID, and so they offered to allow people to exclude $10,200. And so now what they're telling people, if they filed their tax returns before that was put into law, they don't have to do anything. They can just wait, and the IRS will correct their return. Of course,
Is that scary?
yeah. There
Because
may be cases.
what happens if they don't?
Well, you have to watch to see if you got the refund you're expecting, and there may be cases where you need to amend the return. The question now is, what is Arizona going to do about it? Well, Arizona has agreed to follow the federal, but they haven't decided whether you should amend the Arizona return now or not. So I guess stay tuned for our next show, because we don't know yet what to do. The Arizona just says don't amend yet.
Well, so you got to
Wait.
hold on tight. When you do your accounting, do you do both business and individual?
Yes, I do both
So-
business and individual. Of course, the individuals usually come to me once a year. The businesses, like I said, I do them 3 times a year. And most of the businesses, I also do the individual returns that go with that. So, that's good, because I have a big picture for the client.
And you work with all sorts of types of businesses.
Oh, yes, I've got architectural firms, I've worked in construction, I've worked with nonprofit, worked with manufacturers, I've worked with doctors.
So, really honestly, but having somebody who is, which, like you said, excellence and integrity in accounting, it's huge for you about that. And, everything that you do, also, you make sure that it's done right. You even say, I've heard you say it, that if God forbid anything is done wrong, you're the one that takes on that liability.
Oh, yes, if our firm is the one that makes the mistake, we correct it free of charge, and we will pay any penalties that are involved.
So believe me, she's not making any mistakes.
I try hard not to make mistakes, because I'm going to pay for it if I do.
Exactly.
So,
Anything else in terms of, I wanted to ask you, again, advice to small business owners. How about that? What about us small business owners? What do you advise us to do?
I advise you to learn to read your financial statements, because that's the picture of what your business is doing. And that's how you can make decisions going forward about what to do better.
Is that where the QuickBooks and all of that comes in?
That's where the QuickBooks comes in.
So really understanding it, I mean, how to give us another example of something that somebody might not understand when it comes to QuickBooks and why they need this so much.
Well, I know one thing a lot of business owners do is they fail to separate their personal expenses from their business
we all
expenses.
do that.
And so sometimes we find things on the, taken as an expense that shouldn't be. And we have to make the corrections for that. But, it's giving a person a false sense of, wow, I'm not going to owe much in taxes because I have all these expenses. And I said, well, you can't deduct your own income taxes, not on a S corporation or a partnership. So those things need to be corrected for.
Well, you were born with numbers in your head.
My dad was an engineer, and he always stressed learning mathematics.
And when you're working with somebody, you want to make sure, number one, they have that sharp pencil, but that they're doing the right thing. Doing the right thing is always the right way to go. A lot of times people like not to, but we really know that it's the best thing. Maybe you need your taxes amended, but right now she's saying hold off on all of that right now too. Especially if you were unemployed, make sure that you wait a little bit. Give her a call and have that consultation with her. And her number is 480-964-4030. It's Arizona CPAs with an S.com.
Thank you.